We had a slight hiccup there. I'm so sorry about that. My apologies. But we're going to get going. In today's lesson, we're actually going to be speaking about business bank accounts, why we need them, why they're important, why we should be in knowledge of having business bank accounts. What are some of the products that banks actually afford to us as business owners? So we're going to jump right into that right now. I'm just going to jump into my presentation here. There we go. Business bank accounts. Let me just see, actually, I'm just going to jump back into our full screen here, our full screen mode for a minute and make sure that everybody's back in. Is everybody back in? Is everybody back in? I'll wait for a few more seconds before we get going just to make sure that you guys are caught up and with us. By the way, how's everybody's day going? Is everybody having a good day? All right. I see some people back in here, so we're going to get going. I'm going to jump back into my presentation software. Just give me a second here. Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. So, business bank accounts. So, the reason why I kind of made this its own presentation was because I think it's really important to understand the benefits of having a business bank account. A lot of us just use regular bank accounts. As creatives, we kind of have, we're creatives, so we don't really think that we are necessarily a business per se. We know that we do business. We know that business in having, maybe things like contracts or having certain things that are business tools are important for being able to generate finances, but we don't really necessarily understand or fully grasp the importance of having a tool like a business account. So we're going to jump into why it's important to have a business account. Now, let me know, give me a thumbs up really quickly if you're back in. Also, if you can hear me properly, and just let me know. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me properly. Hold on here. There we go. Perfect. All right. So we're going to jump back into our presentation here. So we'll look at our overview here. So first things first, we're going to talk about why do we need business bank accounts. So that's pretty straightforward. We're going to talk about the reasons why we need business bank accounts. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to talk about the different types of business bank accounts, because there are different types of business bank accounts, and that's something important that you should know about. We are going to talk about how to open a business bank account, right? It doesn't make any sense for us to just talk simply about the importance of a bank account or a business bank account and the benefits of it, but not talk about how to open one up. I'm just going to jump on here to do a little bit of live streaming. Hey, what's up, Instagram? Just let you know that I'm over on youtube.com/Tristan Barracks, and I'm doing my live stream about business bank accounts. We're also going to talk about the cost of business bank accounts. So there is a cost associated with business bank accounts, which you should probably know about. It's very important. And then lastly, we're going to do some Q&A. So let's jump into it. Why do we need a business bank account? Well, the first reason why that we need a business bank account is to separate our personal financing from our business financing. Why is this important? Especially as creatives, we are always so, in a lot of ways, we're very artistic, but we're not necessarily organized or analytical. Not all. And I mean, it seems like a general statement, but for the most part, creatives don't have a problem with being creative. They have a problem with organizing their thoughts and their business in a very clear, concise manner. So having a business account allows you to have a stream for your business income and a stream for your personal finance income. That's really important. The reason why that's so important is because, again, when you're going into doing taxes, when you're trying to get bailout money and grant money and going for loans and maybe turning into a corporation or turning into a partnership or getting investors into your business, you have to know how to organize the numbers and organize your finances in a way that it's clear and easy for people to see what you're making, how you're making it, the streams of income, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one of the main reasons why registering a business account is really important. The next reason why, or not registering a business account, but creating a business banking account. The other reason why we need a business bank account is uh, you want to improve the image of your business. The reason why I said this is because, again, if you are, let's say, for instance, you are a financial company or you are a non for profit, you're going to need to be able to show your income and show your finances in a clear, concise way. If you are writing things down on a piece of paper or you're sharing your finances with, your spouse or with another friend or a partner, or you have all of your income going into one place, it's very hard to track things. And it makes you look disorganized or unreliable. So when you're thinking about your branding and the way you want to represent your business and yourself, you really want to make sure that you look as professional and as well educated and well represented as possible. The other thing is that a lot of times people will pay you, but they'll pay you in your business name. If somebody pays you in your business name and it's not your business name is not your own name, then chances are you won't be able to actually cash that check. And that's happened to me several times in the past where people have paid me with my business name on the check, but I wasn't able to cash the check because I didn't have a business account. So those are some things that you really want to think about. Hey, what's up, InstaFam? Just let you know that I'm on youtube.com/Tristan Barracks, and I'm doing my live stream, my business live stream. So if you guys want to check it out, I'm giving you a little taste just so you know, but all the slides and everything else are on YouTube. It protects your personal identity. So here's the thing. If you're running your business out of your personal accounts and now you have several different employees, you have several different partners, you have to share that personal information now with a multiplicity of people. Those people may be trustworthy now, but they may not be trustworthy in the future, which means that they could, your information could be compromised. So it's really, really important that you think about at least opening up a business account, even for those reasons, just for privacy reasons. You have your business, which is a separate entity from yourself, depending on obviously how you structured it. And you have your personal finances, which you don't really want to touch, right? And if you have your business and your personal together, and you have your mortgages and your lines of credits and you have credit cards, all of that can go out of whack, and the business finances can actually draw down your personal credit. So you want to make sure that you think about that. You want to build a relationship with the bank. So essentially, if you don't have any sort of products with the bank from a business standpoint, then they don't look at you as a potential business client, or they're not going to be offering you any sort of business products. What do I mean by business products? I mean business loans, I mean lines of credit, I mean credit cards, all those sort of things. Yes, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, those things are so terrible, they're so bad. Lines of credit and business loans are not terrible. They're actually okay. Credit cards are okay. It's the way we use them that can either bring us down or help us elevate the status of our business and grow our business and allow us to have fluidity of finances in our business. So that's something to think about. If you don't have a business account, you're not building any relationship with any financial institution, which means it's going to be that much harder to get liquid assets, finances into your business. You're going to have to go to personal loan institutions. You're going to have to go to friends, loved ones, family members. You're going to have to figure out ways to get finances to grow your business. And you can't just rely on, the clients coming through the door. A lot of times you need to make a significant investment in your business for your business to grow and thrive. Hey guys, for those of you that are on Instagram, I am doing this live stream on youtube.com/Tristan Barracks. So check it out. I'm jumping back over there. Have a great day. Peace. So the next thing that we're going to look at is, there we go. You want to begin accepting credit cards. So this is again just a straightforward thing. If you want to accept any sort of credit card information from people, if you want to be able to have different forms of payment, it requires you to have a business account and business structure. Now you could, I think it's plausible to use a personal checkings or savings account for business transactions. I just personally wouldn't do it, right? I've gone that route before, and it's just not really the best route. And lastly, you want to simplify your tax preparation. Again, goes back to the very first sort of thing that we were talking about. If you have one account and you're running everything out of one account, you now have to go through manually and itemize all the things that are actually related to your business versus the things that are related to your personal finance. And mind you, your business taxes are not the same as your personal taxes. They're actually separate. So you have to make sure that when you're going to Revenue Canada, that you're submitting for your business and you're submitting for your personal finances. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh, let me jump back here. You want to enter into a partnership. Sorry. Just jump back in here. You want to enter into a partnership or incorporation. Partnership or incorporation. So essentially, when you have a business account, it's a lot easier to transfer information from one business to the other, or from one business structure to the other, because you already have everything organized. All you have to do is just take the documentation from your banking institution, open up a new banking account, and then you have all your records together. When you want to sell your business, it makes it a lot easier. So again, this goes back to simplicity. If I wanted to sell my business, it's incorporated, it's a partnership, whatever else, whatever the other example you want to use. This allows you, having a business bank account allows the process to be a lot simpler, because you're not going back and trying to organize yourself after the fact. Everything is in one place, and then all you're going to do is now transfer ownership over, and all of the information will go with that new owner. So, what are the different types of business bank accounts? There are business checkings accounts. So, just like a personal checkings account, it is your spending account. It is the account that's supposed to have fluidity, right? Funds are supposed to flow in and out of that account. Funds are not really, it's not really a savings account at all. There's no interest that's accumulated in these accounts. These are just accounts that are used to spend. But it's great because then it builds up a level of fluidity. You can track the amount of income that you're getting in per month. You're able to also show that you're a viable, credible business for banking institutions. And again, I'm not saying that you have to work with banks and you have to take out large lump sums of money from the bank, or loans or lines of credit. But realistically, every business owner will get to a point where they need to look at all their options. And it's really good to be able to at least be starting to build that relationship with your clientele. All right. Business savings accounts. So business savings accounts are actually savings accounts as well. Sometimes, depending on which savings account you're looking at, you actually could get even more interest, or get back or accumulate more interest in more than you would with a personal savings account. So there are some benefits to having a business savings account. What I found to work really well for me is I usually take my HST that I collect and I put it into a business savings account, so that I don't mix the HST taxes that I'm collecting for the federal government of Canada with my actual liquid money that I can use for my business to pay my team members, myself, and to pay for the different expenses of the business. So that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, there's business guaranteed investments certificates. So essentially what this account is it's a savings account, but it's like a long-term investment savings account. So you put in a certain amount of money, and then you commit to leaving it in there for a certain period of time, and then it matures, and it should at least redeem you X amount of dollars in interest. So that's something to think about if you are looking at like a surplus of finances that you want to actually put away for a rainy day. This is a good way of doing it. The caveat to this is that there are fees that apply if you want to pull the money out prematurely. So once you put the funds in, you're saying to the institution, I'm going to leave that money alone for, 2, 5, 10 years, and then I'll pull it out and get my interest on that. Does anybody get anything? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes if you're following me now. The next thing is a community and non-for-profit account. Now, community and not-for-profit account, I'm not really well versed in it. The one thing I will say is, obviously, if you're a non-for-profit or if you're a charitable organization, I believe these are the accounts that you can use. And the reason why it's important to have a specialized type of account for non-for-profits and for charities is because they have to have extremely high levels of accountability when it comes to bookkeeping. So that's something that you want to really, really keep in mind, is that your bookkeeping has to be at a very high level when it comes to the tracking of all of the finances that come into your organization, if you are dealing with a charitable organization or you're dealing with a non-for-profit. Okay. Line of credit. This is not necessarily an account. It is an account. It's essentially a credit account. But a line of credit is a really great way to be able to borrow money from banks and banking institutions without selling your shirt and selling your house and selling your soul. Okay. What I mean by that is, it's generally lines of credits are lower interest than, let's say, credit cards or other traditional means of credit and loan sort of products. So one of the things I want to stress is that lines of credits are different than credit cards because they don't have necessarily a normal payment structure or payment cycle of, this is the minimum payment and you have to pay it within the 30-day cycle. Depending on the line of credit, you don't, the interest, from what I understand, is it doesn't accumulate every single day. I think it accumulates every 30-day cycle. I have to look into that. Honestly, don't quote me on that. Again, I'm not an expert, but from what I understand, it's not an account where it's like you necessarily have to have a card or anything. It actually just looks like a normal account. You transfer over the funds into your checkings account or into your spending account in your business. If it's a business account, it's a business account. If it's a personal account, it's a personal account. And then you can spend those finances. What's great about it is that it is already connected to your personal or your business account. So when you have the funds, you can transfer back the funds. You can put a surplus on there. I don't know why you would want to, but you could top it up as well. But it's a very fluid account, right? It's an account where normally there's no real like credit card connected to it unless you request for it or unless it's a special account. For me, I have a line of credit and I just transfer over the funds when I need it and then I transfer it back over. So it's something to really think about. All right. A business loan. A business loan is different than a line of credit because a line of credit doesn't have it's not a set period of time in terms of like a beginning of when the bank is loaning you money and an end period. A business loan does. A business loan says, okay, May 1st, I'm giving you $10,000. December 31st, I want that $10,000 back. It needs to be repaid. And then there's the payments are broken up and structured out so that you will make that end goal of December 31st. So business loans are good though, because generally speaking, their business loans are larger sums of money. They're secured and usually the interest is fixed, right? Most of the times the interest is fixed. So it's usually prime, which is whatever the bank buys the money, gets the money from the Federal Reserve, right? So the Federal Reserve has money. They loan money to our banks. Our banks then have to pay a certain amount of interest on that money. That's called prime. and then whatever is above prime, which right now I think prime is like 0.75% or something. So it's like 75 cents per whatever, how many dollars. I don't know. I can't do math right now. But essentially, there's prime, and then there's the percentage that the bank puts on top of prime, and that's your actual total interest rate. So generally speaking, if the bank says you have an interest rate of 5%, well, that's the total interest rate. But realistically, the bank is only taking 3% or 4%, and then the other 1% is actually what they're paying, what you're actually paying back on their behalf to the Federal Reserve. So I don't want to get too technical, but essentially, business loans are really great. The one caveat again is that with a business loan, you have to, generally speaking, have to have secured assets, as well as things like a business plan. You usually have to be a lot more invested in terms of being able to apply for a business loan. And there's a lot more stipulations when it comes to borrowing the money. Business credit card. This is probably the easiest and the most notable that most of products and credit accounts that business owners have. As a creative professional, you should have a business credit card. Again, it's a great way of being able to accumulate points, accumulate good credit with your business, as well as be able to track all your business expenses. Oh, I'm meeting up with a client for a business meeting. Put it on the card. I have to buy a ticket because I'm traveling to Jamaica and shooting a wedding. Put it on the credit card. I have to buy, 3 new cameras. Put it on the credit card. I have to buy a computer. Put it on the credit card. And then at the end of the month, you see everything there. Now, again, number one, you want to pay it off, but even if you can't pay off all of it, you can at least assess and see exactly all the itemized all of the products that you've purchased or the services that you purchased itemized in one place. So that's really great. All right. So how do I open a business bank account? That's a great question. You got to have your business registration papers. So I hear somebody saying, "Oh, that's why you talked about business registration, Tristan." Exactly. You got to be a registered business. If you're not a registered business, you can't register a business bank account, right? Because the bank has to connect your banking product, your business banking product to an actual licensed, registered, identifiable business, right? That's how you're able to track business credit, right? That's how you're able to track business integrity and be able, that's how they're going to be able to give you any products, to be able to even know how to service you better. You have to be registered. So those are things that's something that you really need to know. If you don't have your business registered, you should register. And if you don't know how to register your business or why you should register your business, please check out my video from Monday. It should be in my video feeds under the live streams. You need a personal ID. So usually it's a birth certificate or driver's license, etc. That's pretty straightforward. You need that for any bank account anyways. Proof of residence, right? So you have to prove that you live in Ontario, you live in Canada, you live in Jamaica, wherever you are, whatever jurisdiction you find yourself in, you got to prove that you live there. I can't start a business in America necessarily just right off the bat without me showing that I actually am a resident there, or I have a license or permission to do business there, right? Information on individuals who are authorized to access the account. So a lot of times what will happen is you'll want to open up a business account and they'll ask you, well, is this going to be a joint account? Are you going to authorize anybody else to be able to use this account? And that's where you're going to need the information of the individuals that you want to have access to that account. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want, your partner to have access to the account, if you want your employee to have access to account, if you want your accountant, your in-house accountant to have access to that account, you have to bring their information, and they actually have to come and they have to sign something, sign that they're giving permission or you're giving them permission to be able to access this account, because now they're legally bound to being able to have access to it. So how much is the cost of business bank accounts? So business bank accounts go from $0 all the way up to $100 per month. They are, generally speaking, you're not going to spend more than about $40, $45 a month plus any applicable fees, additional fees that you may have incurred on top of that. So that's pretty straightforward. Business bank accounts for low volume businesses. I wanted to kind of put this in here because I thought it was important for everybody that's connected with this live stream to understand that it's not just about spending money on the best biggest accounts and then not really having any revenue coming in. That doesn't make any sense, right? So what I did was I kind of did some research on some accounts that you may want to look into if you're just starting out your business account I guess journey. You don't have to start out breaking the bank. You don't have to start out spending 20, 30, 40, $80 a month for no reason, right? There are a lot of accounts that are either free or very, very low and very cost effective. So a lot of these bank accounts that I'm going to be showing you, they're from different banking institutions. And the reason why I'm showing you this list is because first and foremost, they're very low cost, and they speak to sort of the digital creative type of flow. And when I say digital creative, I mean most people that are graphic designers, that are digital storytellers, that are photographers, that do things in the media and the creative space. We don't really find value in like paper documentation. We don't find value in like having to cash checks and having to, run a whole bunch of credit cards physically and all that sort of stuff. That's not to say that there's no value in that. There is value in that. But most millennial creative professionals, creative entrepreneurs, they generally are all online. They're all digital. They're all plugged into sort of like the paperless age. So these are business accounts that specifically speak to that. So there's the RBC Digital Choice business account. This is $5 a month, and it basically gives you unlimited debiting and credit transactions, and withdrawals from tellers, not in bank tellers, but like cashing machines. If you have to do anything in the bank, if you have to get a check, if you have to print out an invoice, if you have to do any of those sort of things, you're always going to get charged for that. So you're going to charge 50 cents, a dollar here, whatever else, right? But to be honest with you, if you're not really interested in going into your bank branch that much, or you only go like once a month or once every 3 months, then this might be a great option for you. There's the RBC Flex Choices business account. That's $6 a month, and that gives you a little bit more flexibility. It's not as flexible in terms of your transactions, your debiting. You actually have a limit on that, but there are some other elements to this particular product that's actually useful. TD Basic Business Plan, that's $5 a month. It's basically pay as you go, or I believe they give you like 5 free transactions, and then after that you have to pay. I actually am with TD, and I'm thinking of switching to RBC because I really like this digital choice business account. Just because I'm really pretty much all digital, and I have very few checks that I have to cash, and when I do have to cash them, they're literally like, I maybe cash 5 a year. So that's something to keep in mind. Scotiabank's right size account for businesses. So that's another account. I didn't do too much research on that, but I have some friends that do have it, and they say it's pretty good. And remember also, Scotiabank also has like their connection with Cineplex. So you can, as you use your debit card or your credit card, you can accumulate points to go see a movie. BMO Business Start bank accounts, and then CIBC Basic Business Operating accounts. So these are all accounts, and I'll put all this information into the description and probably in an hour, just so you can look it over and you can check it out. These are all the different accounts I would suggest to you to start here, because these are accounts that only cost between $5 to $6, so it's not really that expensive at all. But they give you a lot of flexibility, and they're great products. The other thing that I want to let you know, the other benefit that I want to let you know with regards to um, business bank accounts. You can write off the fees, right? Because it's a part of running your business, doing business. So if you're paying $20 a month or $15 a month or $5 a month, that's a part of your running your business. You when it comes to tax time, you can now say, hey, listen, this is how much I have to pay to run my business, or this is a part of a business expense, so that you can deduct that from your total income, right? So if you spent, I don't know, let's say in banking fees, for some reason you spent $1,000 in banking fees for 2020, well then you can deduct $1,000 from your income, because you didn't actually use that on yourself. You didn't get to keep that. You had to spend it to be able to run your business. So that's another thing to keep in mind. All right. Any questions? Questions at all? Questions. Give me your questions. I would love to hear your questions for today. Like always, you can always jump onto my social at Tristan Barracks on all my social media platforms. You can check out all my work and all of my content using the hashtag the digital storyteller. That's hashtag the digital storyteller. Man, this has been a great week. We only have one more class, or one more live stream tomorrow, and that's all about insurance. That's both life insurance, travel insurance, and business insurance. Why we need it, why it's important, why you should have it, what are some of the different types of insurances. We're going to go through all that stuff. But let me know if you have any questions. I'm here. I'm jumping around. I'm ready to answer some of your questions. Let me see. Let me see this question here. Oh, let me jump back into. There we go. I can't even see your question, because there we go. Okay. What are good resources for writing a business plan? Oh, that's a great question. First of all, how old are you? Can you tell me how old you are? Because if I know how old you are, there's actually a website that allows you the ability. It's called youngpreneur or futurepreneur. That is a website for those that are 35 years old or younger, and you can actually go through. They have a full business plan on their website. You go step by step. You open up a free account. You go step by step. You do the business plan, and then they'll actually connect you up with a mentor. And then after they connect you up with a mentor, you actually can pitch your business plan to their board of directors, and they'll actually give you a business loan. And obviously the amount of money depends on how good your business pitch is, but they'll give you a business loan. So that's something to think about. Futurepreneur. Any other questions? Any questions? Any other questions? Hit me up, hit me up, hit me up. I'd love to answer some more questions. Did you guys get anything today? Let me know. Type in the comment section what your favorite points were, or what you remember from today's session. Okay, you don't apply. It's okay. So if you are older than 35, there are different websites. I don't know it off the top of my head, but what I can do, this is what I can do. I'll do some research today and tomorrow, and I'll make a list, and I'll throw it into the comment section below as well. What I'll do is I'll also talk about it tomorrow, before tomorrow we jump into tomorrow's session. Okay, is that cool? Does that work for you? Let me know. Any other questions? And it doesn't just have to be questions about banking accounts for today. It could be questions about anything that we dealt with throughout this whole week. Whether it's why you register your business, how to register your business, incorporations versus sole proprietorships versus partnerships, contracts, invoices, calendars, any of those sort of resources. Let me know if you have any questions about that, and I'll be happy to give you that information or to answer any of those questions. Y'all are quiet today. You guys good? You guys having a good day? I know it's like what, week 2 of quarantine, and we're almost finished, like a 2-week period of not being able to go to work like normal and all that other stuff, but it's all right. We got each other. I actually want to let you know. I actually want to ask you guys a quick question. So I have a few different opportunities for providing you guys with more information in the next up and coming weeks. So I have a couple of different ideas of workshops that we can do or live streams that we can do. One is, okay, you got another question? Definitely shoot it at me. One is content creator basics. So it's things like choosing right topics, gear, lighting, how to be better on camera, and then Q&A. The other topic I was going to look into is shooting basics for creatives. So how to get great exposure, how to use zoom lenses, how to use prime lenses, how to white balance, how to stabilize your footage, editing. What editing softwares do I use? How to use Final Cut Pro? How to transcode? How to use editing effects or using generators? How to export and share your footage? Those are some things that I'm looking at, as well as a lighting tutorial week, which would be all about how to light, using natural lighting, using video lighting, using photography lighting, and one, two, three lighting setups. So let me know if any of those sort of topics ring true to you or things that you're interested in, because I would love to know, and then I can really set up my weeks moving forward as such. So if you guys really want to learn about lighting, then maybe next week we'll do lighting. If you guys want to learn about video, filming and things of that nature, we can do that. Just let me know in the comment section, and then I'll answer that. Let me see what question you have here. If you start with a smaller business account, what happens if you grow faster than you expected? Oh, cool. Oh, that's very, very easy. That's very, 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 very easy. You just move up to the next account. So one of the things that's really cool about TD is, so last month wasn't really a high volume transaction month, and I was at their like third tier, which is like $40 a month or whatever. So what I did was I called before the month was up. I called in and I switched to the lower account, which was half the money. It was like $20. And I only had to pay about, I think it was like $10 in charges, in extra fees, because I went over the transaction fees for that tier. So I saved about $10, $10 to $15 in banking fees. So you can actually move depending on the institution. I mean, most institutions, they don't want to lose your money, right? So they're pretty flexible. You can jump from one tier to the other pretty quickly, but you can only do it like once a month, right? Like the way I kind of understand it is, you can't like jump 1 week from one tier and then go to another tier and then back to one tier. Like you kind of have to make a decision, and then they'll change you as you go, because every time you change to one count from one count to another, you have to start a new agreement with them, right? So they have to verbally get your okay, and then they'll make those adjustments. Let me know if that makes sense. I just want to make sure that that's clear. Oh, I see a question here. What are the advantages of a business loan versus a business line of credit? Okay, great question. Is that my sister? I think that's my sister. I see her little squishy face. Hi, Cree Cree. By the way, Cree Cree, big. This is a shameless plug because she's my blood and flesh and blood. Cree Cree makes the best wigs in all of Canada, in all of Ontario, all of Toronto. This is actually a wig. My hair is actually glued onto my scalp. This is actually a wig. I actually am bald. I'm balding right here, and she actually made this wig for me. No, I'm joking. But she does make wigs. She does weaves. She does a whole bunch of things, and she's supremely talented. She's a professional, licensed hairstylist, and she also does coloring and color treatment to your hair, and also does makeup. So she's amazing. But that's a great question. What's the advantages of business loan versus business line of credit? So business loan is so let's look at it pros and cons. So business loan, you generally will have a larger lump sum of money, or you can get a lump sum of money. There is a starting point and there is an end point for a loan, right? And you can make equal payments, right? The bank basically sets up the structure for you. So if you're a person that needs structure because you don't have a lot of structure in your business and you need to know, okay, I need to pay $250 a month in order to pay back this loan, then it builds that structure. It also builds up your business credit. Okay, so it's great for that. Generally speaking, though, it's more of an time investment, and in terms of being able to apply, it's more information that you have to divulge to the bank. You're required to have a higher level of credit, and you're going to have physical assets. A storefront. Or like your home or your house or something, your car, to be able to leverage that loan in case you default on that loan. So those are some of the disadvantages. The advantages of having a line of credit, it's very fluid. So if funds are not great in March because we couldn't open up, we can't do business, and you don't have to pay the $250 down on it. You can pay $50 down on it, right? And obviously they'll do the calculations of how much you owe and blah, 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 right? But the minimums are a lot lower than in comparison to a business loan. So business line of credit. Also, the other thing I like about a business line of credit is that it's connected to your account. So you see it, you can quickly pay off things on it. And it's just, to me, I just like the fluidity of it. And generally speaking, the percentage of the interest is much lower. So, a loan might be, I don't know, it might be 9%. I don't know. It might be 7%, it might be 2%, it might be 5%. A line of credit is usually lower, or it's usually in terms of the way the interest is applied, it's a lot more lenient than a loan is. And there's not as much penalties. Like if you miss a payment on your loan, then you're going to get penalized, a late payment or whatever else, right? So they're a lot more stringent in terms of how you have to pay back a loan versus a line of credit. But both will build up your credit and your business credit. Hopefully that answers your question. Have any other questions? You have any other questions? Give me some more. I like this. You guys like my wig? I'm joking. Anything else? Any other questions at all, guys? Any other questions at all? No questions? All right, at least give me a thumbs up. The other thing I would like you to do is I'd like you to share this live stream on your Facebook feed, please, or on your business feed, or on your Insta, or on your LinkedIn. The more people that know about it, specifically creative professionals, the better. Because like I've been saying this whole week, creative entrepreneurs are really great at the creative part. We're not always great at the entrepreneurial part. So it's really important for us to understand that we are both creative and professional. And it's really important for us to do that. Okay, awesome. Well, listen, appreciate you guys. Much love, much respect. Stay creative, stay positive, and just stay focused. Oh, 2 thumbs up. Good. 2 thumbs up to you too. Peace out, guys.
Something to buy, yeah. Set the potato, sunlight that always stays, dinner by the waterway. It's that sweet life. Raise your cross. Made some dude crack a smile. He asked if I could stay a while. I'm living that high life. Time to catch a flight, but you can make me go. Unlocking all the memories of my new home. Ventilated echoes playing to and fro, back and forth, yeah. Caught some kids dancing in the alleyway. Crazy how the melodies began to play, yeah. Tell me how you feeling when you hear the lyric, yeah. My heart's in Stockholm. on my Vespa. She said I already told ya, yeah. I never dated a black guy. I said you're brown yourself. Let me offer help. Come on inside, where everybody knows your name, everybody knows your name. Time to catch a flight, but you can make me go. Unlocking all the memories of my new home. Ventilated echoes playing to and fro, back and forth, yeah. Caught some kids dancing in the alleyway. Crazy how the melodies began to play, yeah. Tell me how you feeling when you hear the lyric, yeah. My heart's in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. I left my heart in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. Separate again. Sunlight that always stays in about the waterway. It's that sweet life, sweet life, sweet life. I never wanna go home, go home. I'm living in Stockholm, Stockholm. I never wanna go home, go home. Living in Stockholm, Stockholm. I never wanna go home, go home. I'm living in Stockholm, Stockholm. Yeah. Shut up, I got the bed, the bed. We got good, we got good, got good.